Started like one of those wild headlines you scroll past at 2 a.m., says goodbye after Courtney's tragic diagnosis. Within hours, social media lit up like a Christmas tree running on panic. Fans were sharing, reposting, and commenting, and faster than you could say Britain's got rumors. But hold on a second, is any of this true? As reporters, we've learned one thing from covering entertainment for years. The internet never met a rumor it didn't love. And when you mix name with a dramatic word like goodbye, the clicks practically start printing themselves. Some fans even claimed it made an emotional statement about Courtney's health, while others said it was a private farewell that broke the internet. But as we dug deeper, something didn't add up. No official statement, no medical reports, no credible sources, just a trail of reposted tick-in comment sections that looked like group therapy sessions for confused fans. It's the kind of online wildfire that spreads because it sounds emotional, and let's face it, we all love a little drama with our morning coffee. Still, when a story gets this big, you can't just scroll past it. You have to ask, where did it start, why did people believe it, and most importantly, what's the real story behind the headline? Stay tuned, because the truth is about to be a lot less tragic and maybe a little more entertaining. Courtney's meteoric rise. Before we get lost in the whirlwind of rumors, let's rewind to where it all began, that unforgettable night when a shy 13-year-old from England named Courtney walked onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2018. She looked nervous, clutching the microphone like it was her last lifeline, and for a moment, Evan's trademark poker face softened, probably thinking, here we go again, another shy kid about to sing a nursery rhyme. But then boom. Courtney opened her mouth, and out came a voice that could make Joplin rise from the grave and say, okay, who's this kid stealing my thunder? Her audition clip didn't just go viral, it went nuclear. Within hours, millions watched her transformation from a quiet teen into a rock and roll powerhouse, complete with wild hair flips and a stage presence that screamed, born for this. His jaw literally dropped. Rumor has it, it still hasn't fully recovered. Even slammed that golden buzzer like he was playing whack-a-mole for glory. That moment made Courtney an overnight sensation, a global headline, and a living reminder that you never judge a singer by her stage fright. So when people see her name trending now with words like tragic diagnosis, it hits harder because fans remember that fiery kid who could outsing, outscream, and outshine just about anyone on that stage. But fame, as we know, comes with a double-edged mic. One side screams talent and the other whispers rumors. And as we'll see next, some whispers get a little too loud. And the goodbye statement. Now let's talk about the man whose frown can end careers and whose smile can launch legends. The rumor mill claimed that it said some sort of heartfelt goodbye connected to Courtney's so-called tragic diagnosis. Emotional, right? Except no one could actually find when or where supposedly said it. It's like chasing Bigfoot, everyone swears they've seen it, but no one has the photo. What is true is that has always had a soft spot for real talent, and Courtney was one of those rare moments that even made him sit up straight and say, wow. That's not something he does often. Usually the only thing he sits up for is another season of Britain's Got Talent. Some fans think maybe the goodbye wasn't to Courtney at all, but more like saying farewell to his stricter TV persona. You know, the one who made contestants cry in the early 2000s. Yeah, that guy. These days, gone softer, maybe too many therapy sessions with his dogs, or maybe he's just realized being nice gets better ratings. So when people heard says goodbye, they panicked, imagining hospital scenes and sad piano music. But in reality, he might just been saying goodbye to his diet, his old haircut, or maybe a broken coffee machine in his dressing room. Because in this business, everything says or doesn't say turns into a headline. And in the internet's game of telephone, one calm "see you later" can somehow transform into the end of an era. But what if that whole diagnosis part didn't come from it all? What if it started somewhere completely different? Well, that's where this story really gets interesting. Where the diagnosis rumor came from. Here, where things start to get a little wild, and by wild, we mean the kind of internet detective work that would make even Sherlock Holmes throw his magnifying glass in frustration. The supposed tragic diagnosis tied to Courtney didn't come from an official statement, not from her team, and definitely not from. Nope, it seems to have crawled out of the digital swamp of clickbait thumbnails, Facebook gossip pages, and YouTube channels that specialize in mystery celebrity news, drama with stock photos, and sad piano music. One video had a thumbnail of Courtney with the word tragic in red letters, which, let's be honest, is the internet's way of saying, we have no proof, but we need views. Another post claimed to have exclusive insider info, but their source was a random fan comment from 2019. You can't make this stuff up. Well, apparently you can. Within hours, tick edits started appearing with soundtracks and captions like "Pray for Courtney." It's the digital version of playing emotional telephone. One person whispers a half fact, another adds a tear emoji, and suddenly you've got a full-blown tragedy trending. The funniest part. Some fans online tried to decode her silence on social media as proof that something was wrong, when really she was probably just living her life offline. Because in 2025, not posting for a week apparently means you've either retired or vanished into the mountains to write a folk album. The truth? This rumor was built on zero evidence and 100% imagination. But don't log off yet, because as we'll see next, fans' reactions made it go from tiny misunderstanding to viral heartbreak in record time. Fans' emotional reactions. When the rumor hit full speed, fans reacted faster than can raise an eyebrow during a bad audition. Twitter sorry, X turned into a digital candlelight vigil overnight. Hashtags like Pray for Courtney and Stay Strong started trending, even though no one could quite explain what they were praying for. It got flooded with edits showing Courtney's golden buzzer moment, set to slow piano covers of Someone Like You. If you didn't know the context, you'd think she just retired to the mountains to become a monk. Fans were posting comments like, "I'm crying, I can't believe this," while others replied, "Wait, what exactly happened?" which honestly was the most relatable comment of all. And then came the self-proclaimed internet investigators, people who treat gossip like CSI evidence. They were zooming into old Instagram selfies, trying to find signs of illness in Courtney's lighting. One user even claimed her outfit color was a coded message about her condition. Newsflash, sometimes beige is just beige. But jokes aside, it shows how emotionally attached people are to her story. Courtney wasn't just another AGT contestant. She symbolized raw, unpolished talent, someone who didn't need glitter to shine. But when a whisper of something bad surfaces, fans rush in with hearts, prayers, and detective hats. It's touching, chaotic, and slightly hilarious all at once. Still, as much as fans meant well, their emotional storm gave the rumor a life of its own. Because on the internet, sympathy spreads faster than fact checks. And before long, the line between concern and confusion had completely blurred, setting the stage for what we uncovered next, what Courtney is actually doing right now. Courtney's real life in 2025. Alright, let's clear the smoke and drop the sad violin, because surprise, surprise, Courtney is fine. In fact, she's more than fine. She's thriving quietly under the radar, doing what real artists do, creating without needing to shout about it every 5 minutes on social media. As of 2025, Courtney's been busy working on new music, performing small but soulful gigs, and building her artistry outside the mainstream machine. No tragic diagnosis, no tearful confessions, no secret hospital visits, just a young woman living her best rock and roll life, probably drinking tea in her studio and ignoring the chaos the internet cooked up. And honestly, who can blame her? The online world, so dramatic, could turn a vacation into a conspiracy theory. Fans see inactive for 3 weeks and boom, theories everywhere. She must be sick, she's retiring, she's starting a cult in Wales. No, folks. Sometimes you're just binge watching The Office and eating too many biscuits. Courtney's last known activity included teasing snippets of new songs with that same raspy power she was famous for, plus a few nostalgic throwbacks to her AGT days, all perfectly healthy, all perfectly normal. If anything, this whole rumor says more about us than about her. We've become so addicted to constant updates that we panic when artists take a break to breathe. But Courtney, she's playing the long game, growing her craft, her confidence, and maybe her tolerance for clickbait. So if you've been worried about her, relax. She's not gone, she's just tuning her guitar and probably muting half of her notifications. But speaking of people who can't seem to avoid headlines, what about himself? Turns out, he's been writing a few unexpected chapters of his own. Current situation. Now let's turn the camera back to the man who's been both loved and feared by contestants across the globe. While the rumor mill tried to paint him as a heartbroken mentor saying goodbye to one of his prodigies, the reality is far less dramatic and far more. These days, is still very much alive, active, and occasionally terrifying contestants with one raised eyebrow. After years of being the TV talent titan behind Britain's Got Talent and America's Got Talent, he's taken a slightly slower pace, though slower for probably means judging 2 shows instead of 5. He's been focusing more on family, health, and yes, even smiling more, which for longtime viewers might be the most shocking twist of all. A few years back, he had some scary bike accidents that made headlines, but since then he's bounced back stronger, swapped the leather jackets for slightly softer sweaters, and even cracked jokes about getting a tune-up instead of surgery. Rumor has it, the only real thing said goodbye to lately is his sugar-free diet. Insiders say he's enjoying life more, producing behind the scenes, mentoring new artists, and occasionally reminding people he's not retiring, just recharging. Some fans confuse his quieter presence with stepping away, but truthfully he's just balancing life. Maybe he's realized that not every moment needs to be televised. Shocking, I know. So if really is saying goodbye to anything, it's probably to the idea that he has to be the Mr. Mean judge forever. These days, he's proving you can mellow out, stay legendary, and still make a million people nervous just by saying, "It's a no from me." But as relaxes into his newer, calmer era, another question pops up. Why do rumors like these, wild, emotional, and totally unverified, spread so fast in the first place? How rumors like this explode online. If you've ever wondered how a harmless whisper turns into a full-blown digital disaster, welcome to the algorithm jungle, where one misinterpreted tweet can snowball faster than can roll his eyes. It says goodbye after Courtney's tragic diagnosis. Saga is a textbook example of how the internet plays a global game of broken telephone. One person posts a vague, "Did anyone hear about Courtney?" followed by 10 others quoting it like it came straight from CNN. Add a few sad emojis, some slow background music, and boom, viral tragedy achieved. It's basically emotional SEO. The sadder it sounds, the faster it spreads. And the YouTube landscape doesn't help either. Some channels have turned celebrity tragedy into a full-time genre. You've seen the thumbnails, black and white faces, red arrows, and the word shocking in font size 400. Half the time, you click expecting breaking news, and it's just someone talking for 8 minutes about how they heard something somewhere. The real culprit? Algorithms love engagement, and nothing engages quite like panic and pity. People share before they check, comment before they think, and next thing you know, Ant's convinced has retired to a monastery. What's funny and kind of sad is how easy it is to believe something when it tugs at your heartstrings. Humans crave stories, especially dramatic ones. And when you mix nostalgia for a golden buzzer moment with a tragic twist, you've got viral fuel. The internet doesn't need truth to trend, it just needs emotion, speed, and one person with Wi-Fi and too much free time. So while the rumor mill spins faster than ever, it raises one big question. What's the real lesson we can take from all this? Because maybe, just maybe, there's something deeper hiding behind all the digital drama. The real message hidden in this story. When you strip away the clickbait headlines and the dramatic piano music, there's actually a bigger message buried underneath this whole rumor circus, one that's surprisingly wholesome. It says goodbye story might have been built on fiction, but it shows how deeply people still care about real talent and genuine human stories. Courtney isn't just another viral singer. She represents that rare spark that reminds people why shows like AGT even exist, to find the unexpected in the ordinary. And love him or roast him has always had an eye for spotting that kind of magic. So when fans jumped on the rumor, it wasn't necessarily out of gossip, it was empathy. People saw tragic diagnosis and instantly felt protective of an artist who once made them feel alive. Sure, the internet turned it into a soap opera, but beneath all that chaos was a wave of real human emotion. It's proof that people still feel something when it comes to their idols, even if sometimes they overdo it by turning concern into conspiracy. The joke's on us really. We'll fact-check our pizza delivery faster than a viral post about our favorite celebrity. But maybe this whole mess can serve as a reminder. Before we click share, take a breath, sip your coffee, and ask, wait, did it actually say that? Because being kind doesn't mean being gullible. It means caring enough to get the facts right. And who knows, maybe one day, instead of spreading panic, we'll spread good news just as fast. Though let's be real, is totally fine and eating cake probably won't trend as fast as a fake tragedy. But hey, it's worth a try, right? Final thoughts and sign off. And there we have it, no heartbreaking farewell, no tragic twist, no mysterious diagnosis lurking in the shadows. Just being his usual sharp-tongued legend and Courtney quietly rocking her way through 2025 like the powerhouse she's always been. In the end, this whole viral roller coaster feels like a giant game of Chinese whispers, except instead of kids in a classroom, it's millions of adults with Wi-Fi and way too much time. The truth is, both of them are doing perfectly fine, no dramatic goodbyes, no hospital beds, just two artists living their lives, probably both wondering, how did this rumor even start? If ever to say goodbye, it'll likely be to his patients during another off-key Baby Shark audition, not to life as we know it. And Courtney, she's probably in the studio, sipping tea and ignoring the chaos like a true rock star. The funny part. This story proves one thing, the internet has a D in overreaction. But hey, at least we can laugh about it now and maybe learn something too. So before you hit share on the next shocking celebrity tragedy, maybe double check if it came from a source or just your cousin's YouTube channel with 3 subscribers. Because in a world full of clickbait, the real headlines worth spreading are about talent, growth, and people who keep shining no matter what's said about them. And that's exactly what both and Courtney are doing, no goodbyes needed. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and remember, if something sounds too tragic to be true, it probably just needs a fact check and a little less drama.